We have so much information about health that it's difficult to really know what's true, what's not, who to listen to. That's why I'm happy to have you here to simplify it for us.
Movement, the foods that are good for you, stress management. Once you understand these things and have them really as a foundation in your life, not have it as a momentarily, in 1 month, I'm going to do all of that, then you're able to have fun in this time and go back to what you know. So it's about taking control of your life by the little actions that you have control over. You know, as young adults, it's time to understand that we have responsibility for ourselves and to take care of ourselves.
Soraya, welcome to the Everything You Are podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super happy to be having this conversation. I feel like it's the perfect time for me because health is like a theme in my life right now.
Okay.
And I feel like also many young adults will resonate with this because I feel like it's a time in our lives for most people where we start being conscious of our health for the first time, maybe. So it's not like when you're an adolescent and you feel like you're invincible and you can go out drinking for 3 nights in a row and you don't.
Fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
You don't feel anything. So
Yes.
now you start feeling actually the effects of having a healthy lifestyle versus an unhealthy one.
Yeah. Maybe your body talks to you more now.
Yeah.
Than
Or
it
maybe
used
you're
to.
more aware. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, I think in the landscape in which we are today, health is such a topic.
Yeah.
Even I think adolescents are more exposed to it than we were when we were adolescents. So it's great to be here and to talk about all things health.
Yeah,
Holistic
exactly.
health.
Exactly. And like you said, I feel like now we have so much information about health that it's difficult to really know what's true, what's not, who to listen to. And so it can be complicated. And so that's why I'm happy to have you here to simplify it for us and
Yes,
make
of
it
course.
easier.
I'm happy to be
Yes.
here.
Okay.
And you're right, it has been saturated and it is still being. A lot of new information comes when it comes to health, nutrition, workouts, everything. We have so many opinions that are very contradicting sometimes. Like you can find something and then find the complete opposite and you don't know what to believe anymore.
Exactly.
But it's important to take everything with a grain of salt and apply it to yourself as a person. We are each individual people and each of us work in very different ways. So it's about finding what recipe works for you. The internet can be a great place to get information, but also a very confusing place because you see that person with that body, let's say, and they tell you, I don't know, they're plant-based and only eat raw foods. Okay, let me try to do that because I want to look like this. And then you do that and then you feel like you're bloated and it's not working on you and then you don't understand and you're confused. So again, taking things with a grain of salt, applying things to your own uniqueness, to yourself, and especially not taking any advice from anyone on the internet because you don't know the background of each person, right?
Okay, before we go into the conversation, can you tell us a bit about what you do? So I know you're a health coach, but exactly what do you specialize in? What do you do with your clients? All of this?
Okay, so I'm a holistic health coach. And when we say holistic, we don't tackle just the food or the workouts. The lifestyle is a big part of it, of course, but we're taking in the individual on an emotional level, on a physical level, and on a spiritual level in that sense. And as a holistic health coach, I guide people through taking ownership of their health and to achieving their lifestyle goals that is very unique to them. So that's when someone tells me, what do you do exactly? What do you tackle? It's really hard for me to pinpoint it or find my niche. As everyone say, you need to find your niche. But I have clients that are so different from each other, but I really take them as they are. I just take the individual as they are. I have a conversation with them and I meet them where they are. I can't, for example, I have a client giving you 2 different profiles.
Okay.
A girl, she's 25. She doesn't live here, okay, doesn't matter, but she's 25, figuring her life out, starting her life, having that kind of background versus a man that's 55 years old, that is also my client and also needs seeking my help. Both of them are not going to seek the same amount of help, right? not amount of help, but rather the same type of help. And the conversation I'm having with that young girl is not going to be the same conversation I'm having with that man. So I really take the individual as unique, and I meet them where they are. I open the conversation. I open a safe space for them to be able to unravel what's going on with them. And out of that, we pick and choose and point what could be worked on and where they can improve, and how I can give them the tools and the different perspectives that they can have to be able to take on the learnings and apply them to their life.
Okay. And so they come at first with a health-related goal.
Yes.
So, for example, feel better or lose weight or something. And then you see the health aspect, but also the emotional, the spiritual.
Exactly.
You look at it from a holistic point. Okay.
Exactly. And I like to give that example always. So first of all, I need to say that holistic health coaches are not dietitians.
Okay.
And people come to me sometimes thinking I will give them a meal plan, but this is not what I do. The difference here is that we take the person holistically. So someone comes to me and they're like, yeah, I want to lose weight. And that's an example of someone I had previously. And they wanted to lose weight. And we ended up talking about everything but the weight and the food. So we actually see that the root cause of the issues that she had with the behavior with food was not related to the food. It was related to her being unhappy in her marriage, to her not feeling good in her work. So we tackled the career, we tackled the relationship, we tackled the mental health, and 30% of our sessions was about what she ate, if not 20%.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting. And it just shows you that you can eat the right foods and do the right workouts and not see any results. Because if you're stressed, if you're not feeling good mentally, emotionally, and you're feeling stressed, there's not going to be any difference. Even if you're the healthiest person but you're stressed, your gut is not going to be happy. And fun fact, 70% of your immune system is in the gut.
Okay.
And 90% of your serotonin is in your gut. So imagine the impact that this has mentally on your state.
Yeah, it's super interesting how the health and emotions are super related, and I feel like it goes in both ways. So if you don't take care of your health, you won't feel good mentally.
Of course.
But also if you don't feel good mentally and you take care of your health, it's not going to be enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to take ownership of your mental health as well.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have your happiness, if you don't have your mental health and you can't deal with your emotions, you're not going to be able to go through life and be feeling happy and feeling healthy. But it goes the same when you're eating foods that are going to bring you down and they're going to make your energy level also down. You're not going to feel good. So the hormones that are going on in your body are also they're not going to allow you to feel happy in that sense. You can feel lethargic if you're eating heavy foods, and then it leads to more bad decisions. So it's about taking control of your life by the little actions that you have control over. We're not asking you to control the whole universe. We're asking you to control the things that you can, what you eat, how you take care of the movements that you make, the time that you take to relax, the connections that you have in your life, the way that you approach your everyday life.
And I feel like when you do this, you're able to really choose how you live your life on a day-to-day basis. You feel better about yourself. 100%. You feel more confident. You feel, yes, exactly.
You feel empowered. And a lot of times when when things happen in the world, I'm giving that example, everything that happened in Lebanon and everything that's happening in the world today, you feel hopeless, you feel helpless, you feel like your mood is affected so much by everything that's happening and you have no control over it. So there's this desperation that comes over. But then when you come back to yourself and you focus on the things that you can control, that empowerment will bring that good energy. It will bring that good support that you can have within yourself and your community. So it's coming back to the microscopic scale that you have control over, and each individual has that responsibility to take care of themselves on that scale. And then whatever happens outside of you, you will know how to let go of the things that you don't have control over and how to focus on the things that you do.
Yeah, this is so important, and I always think how important this is and how it's the only thing that we don't get taught at school, for example, how to take care of your health, how to take care of your mental health, how to cook. Things that are so basic.
Not even basic, but essential for our life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes wish I have this power to like just change the whole educational system and teach kids how to meditate, how to cook, how to grow their own food, spend time in nature, forage, like doing different types of workouts. Like we have workouts at school, but it can be very limited sometimes. So I think it could be such a nice world to live in if the kids, we started at a young age to learn all of these things. Of course, it's important what we learn at school, but the things that you really need to for your health and for your life on the long term are these. It's going back to basics.
Like the foundations to everything else that you're going to do.
And I wanted to add something about the clients. So when we start our program, I offer a 6-month program. And we meet twice a month because I want to feel like there's 2 weeks between each session, and I want to feel like they take ownership of their health, and they don't need me in that sense, right? I want them to take the independence and take the control themselves. But we do it over 6 months because I want to go through different phases and different seasons to be able to be sustainable in the changes that we work on together. And I really, truly believe that in baby steps, you will achieve remarkable results. It's not by overnight being this person that works out every day and eats the best and meditates every day. This is not sustainable. And we don't want that shift, because you want your brain to adapt to those little baby steps and celebrate each accomplishment and have them really as a foundation in your life. Not have it as a momentarily, in 1 month, I'm going to do all of that, right? We want to be achievable. So how I start my sessions is I offer the circle of life. And the circle of life is basically everything that nourishes you off your plate. So it includes your career, your relationships, your home cooking, home environment, your spirituality, your finances. So it really tackles on a lot of different aspects that are to nourish you in your life that do not include food. And once you see how satisfied and dissatisfied you are in these areas, there are 12 areas. Once you see how satisfied versus dissatisfied you are, you can understand where to put your attention. You can understand where your energy is needed more than in other areas. And once you tackle that, then you can go into the secondary food, which is the actual food on your plate, and do the necessary changes or improvements that you need to.
So what are the 12 categories? Maybe someone can do it at home. They can just draw a circle, do the 12 categories and rank them.
Okay, so it's joy, spirituality, finances, career, health, physical health. So physical activity.
What's the difference?
Could be your health, like if you're checking your blood every year, like doing your blood tests. It can be that health, and it can be mental health. I always give the option. So physical activity, home environment, home cooking, relationships. And when I talk about relationships, it's relationships, love relationships, relationship with yourself, and or relationship with your family.
Okay.
And then you've got social life.
Okay.
And did I miss anything?
Spirituality.
I did it. I said it.
Oh, you said it. Creativity.
Yeah. Creativity. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
And there's one more, no?
Education.
Okay. So they can draw the circle.
Yes.
Put it in 12
I can even send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
We can attach it.
Okay.
And then you see how satisfied you are in each.
Okay.
And basically you put a dot. Like if you're the most satisfied, you put a dot towards the outer circle. Yeah. And if you're the least satisfied, more towards the center.
Okay.
And then you can evaluate. And what I like to do with my clients is I do it at the first session. And then let's say 3 months in, I'll do it again. And then 6 months in, I'll do it again. So you see how it shifts.
Okay.
Because life is ups and downs. Yeah. We cannot be linear, right? And when we want to be, we go through different phases in our life. So sometimes you're healthier than others. Sometimes you need more things that you wouldn't. So you always need to meet yourself where you are.
Yeah, and I feel like it's interesting what you said about it being over 6 months, over the different seasons. So for example, during the summer, you might be less, like sleep less early or wanting to do more social things. During the winter, you're more at home. So it's important also to not be very rigid, I feel, and to...
It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Fluidity, it's really... because we're going to go through ups and downs. Because then at some point, let's say we're in January, it's after New Year's, you're set with your resolutions, you want to work out more, you're going out less, you're sleeping early, you're focused on work. you're hibernating
Yeah.
as the weather wants you to do and as nature wants you to
Yeah.
do. And then goes into June, right? Wedding season,
Yeah.
parties, going out, sleeping less, probably eating out more. And that's fine.
Yeah.
We want to enjoy life, right? Being healthy doesn't mean like going by the book and staying squared in the things that we think we should do. It's being good in your mind, being good in your body, and still wanting to show up for yourself, but knowing that each situation is different and there's a different caliber in which you do that every time. So yeah, like enjoy your life.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I feel like sometimes we can associate being healthy with restrictions, but actually it's not healthy to be hard on yourself and to restrict and do things that you don't enjoy.
Exactly.
It's nice to combine.
It's finding the balance.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love saying that. Find your balance. Your balance is unique to you and it changes.
Yeah.
Your balance might be something in January and your balance is something until July. But when I talk about coming, what I say to my clients is what I'm here to do with you is build a strong foundation. So finding a movement that you enjoy or different movements that you enjoy. Understanding and gaining information on the foods that are good for you.
Okay.
Knowing the impact that the relationships you have in your life have, you know, if they're toxic, if they're uplifting, if you need to, you know, shift around sometimes. And once you understand these things and you have the strong foundation, then you're able to have fun in this time and go back to what you know. So on the weekend, for example, I love to party. And I'm not saying this as, yeah, let's go crazy. No, I really enjoy being like dancing and being with friends and just having fun weekends. And then on Monday, on Tuesday, I'm gonna go and work out. I'm gonna eat well. I'm gonna sleep early that night. Because yeah, I had that weekend, I had the best time, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna live my life like that. It just means that for that moment, I enjoyed it. But it's not going to be my life.
Yeah.
It's going to be for that weekend. And that's my balance.
Yeah, as long as you enjoy it also. And it's not just for social pressure, for example, or something else, but you feel like it's something that you authentically want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And some people don't want to do that. I have my best friends, they don't enjoy to do the same things as I. Each has really to each his own. And it's, again, celebrate that uniqueness and understand what your uniqueness is, right? Getting in tune, trying things out. I like to go back to my values. So I have 4 values as Sunchef. First one is find your balance. We just talked about that. Second one is live and let live. Don't compare yourself to others. Just compare yourself, to your own improvement, to your past, to where you want to be. The third one is get uncomfortable. You want to be open to trying new things, because out of that, you're going to know what works and what doesn't work, right? If it's a movement, for example, you're going to go try Muay Thai. Okay, I enjoy it. Let me go with it. I don't enjoy it. Let me try something else. And it's going to feel uncomfortable at first because you're not used to it. But it truly is, when you find something outside of your comfort zone, you grow out of it.
Yeah.
You grow into that, because if you're staying comfortable, you're not going to grow. So you have to get uncomfortable. And the fourth one is show up for yourself. And that loops into everything that we just talked about, right? You want, at the end of the day, you are the master of your own choices. And you need to take responsibility for that. And as you show up for yourself, this is where you're going to see the improvements. And the improvements are not going to show after a week of showing up for yourself. You want to always have that intention. And as long as you have that intention and you treat yourself with kindness and love, then you're going to persevere and you're always going to do what's best for you.
Yeah, do you have some tips for that, for the show up for yourself part? Because I feel like the thing that you said about small steps and starting with a few things, it's useful already.
Yes.
So not wanting, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, then meditate, then work out. No, like just say, okay, I'm going to wake up at that time and do it for 1 week, for example. Do you have any tips like this?
Think of the why. Why do you do this? When you go to a class, for example, when I go to a Pilates class, I think of how I feel good after, of how I'm going to feel stronger after, of how sometimes I'm in a mental rut and I go to my class and I'm uplifted, you know? So I think one of the reasons to show up for yourself is think of the why. The second one is who do you want to be, right? I don't know if it's a tip, but
Yeah.
it's more of having this conversation with yourself, being honest with yourself, and sitting and looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing how am I handling myself today. You know, as young adults, it's time to understand that we have responsibility for ourselves and to take care of ourselves.
And I feel like this can be something that takes a bit of time. Like, for example, for me, at first, I felt like, no, I want to stay in that mood, you know, when I'm in, like, carefree, like, I don't know, going with the flow, all of this. And then I realized, actually, I don't feel good when I do this. I feel good when I'm
but
more
both, structured.
Of course.
Yes, it's both.
But when I have that foundation of I feel good, like in my body, like I wake up at this time without snoozing 1,000 times, and I get like 4 hours of work in the morning, for example, and it makes me feel good, and it makes me enjoy more the free moments where I have time to enjoy.
Exactly.
Because I'm mixing structure with flexibility and fluidity.
Exactly. I think the word is more discipline.
Yeah.
More than rigidity. We have to think of discipline.
Exactly.
And discipline is really positive, because if you feel like you're achieving things, then you're releasing hormones of accomplishments, dopamine, that you feel like, okay, I've accomplished something, and you're happy and you're proud of yourself, and then you can enjoy and release. But having this discipline is so important, because you're going to be happy about yourself. You want that balance of being not just having fun, because if you just have fun, then you're not going to feel like you deserve it in a way. You know what I mean? I'm saying deserve it because we don't want to feel like it's a reward system every time. But apply discipline in your life, and you will feel very happy. And it's not rigid, but you're doing it out of care and out of love, not out of judgment. And that doesn't mean you have to let go of the child within you.
Of course.
Because I really, truly believe that, personally, I'm turning 28 this year. I still feel like I'm a kid. I still feel like I have this careless energy and this, but I have a bit of both, because that discipline helps me to grow into an adult that we're all eventually growing into, right? You can't get stuck in the past and stay stuck in it, but you can bring in those two worlds and create the beautiful person that you can be.
So it's like the adult in you is doing things for the child in you to better enjoy. So
exactly.
I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. And I wanted to go back to what we said. So what you said in the beginning, that sometimes someone comes and their challenge is, for example, emotional eating.
Yes.
How does an issue in their personal life translate into that emotional eating?
Okay.
And how to go about resolving it also.
Yes. So when we go about emotional eating, it's trying to fill an emotion with food.
Yeah.
So going towards food when you're bored, going towards food when you're sad, when you're happy. So it's about tuning into that emotion. And first, if we're doing that as a session with my client, we're going to talk about the emotions that came up. We're going to talk about the moment that they wanted to go for the food. Sometimes you go for it without thinking, and then you start eating impulsively, and then you regret it. So it's about trying to be more in touch with your emotions, and on the spot understanding, what are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? And this is them asking the question to themselves, you know? And at that moment, once you start gaining more awareness about your own mental state, then you can gain more control over the actions that follow. So you're like, okay, actually right now I'm going towards the food because I'm bored and I have nothing to do and I'm trying to waste my time. Okay, let me try to fill it with an activity. Or right now I feel like I'm so hungry and I feel like I just want to go and eat, but actually I just needed to drink water. A lot of times hydration is a big part of eating. I wouldn't say emotionally, but just binging, right? Because you don't know that your body is thirsty and you could fuse it with hunger.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes drink a glass of water if you feel like you're hungry, and then you'll see you're not hungry anymore.
Yeah, I have that sometimes. I feel like I want something, and then I just drink water, and it does the trick,
right? Because your mind thinks that it wants something, but actually it just needs to be hydrated. When it comes to sadness or happiness, even, try to pause. You know, sometimes you have this big piece of cake in front of you. Try to pause, and sometimes you're gonna still want it after asking you those questions like, why do I want it? What am I feeling? Do I really want it? Yes, no, yes, I'll take a piece, no guilt. I'm gonna eat that cake, I'm gonna enjoy it. And once I'm gonna be okay and accept, not judge myself, but accept the fact that I want this piece of cake, you eat it, you're satisfied, you move on to something else.
Okay.
So when you restrict yourself, you're going to want to binge. Here, you don't want to feel like you're restricting.
Okay. Okay, so I feel like there are three things that you mentioned.
Yes.
The first is when you're emotional eating, first, okay, realize what emotion is leading you to this behavior. Then first, maybe replace the eating part with something else. So for example, if you're bored, instead of eating, go and do an activity. Second is actually investigate the emotion. So why am I sad? Maybe I can do something about this and not be sad anymore, and
or
then
journal,
feel better. Or journal.
Let out that emotion in a way that is not gonna, you're not filling a void, but you're tending to that emotion. And I think journaling is very powerful. We can talk about that later.
Agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one is maybe it's okay, just go and eat and feel better, but don't judge yourself. And so then you don't have the extra layer of, okay, I felt bad, I ate it. And on top of that, I'm judging myself for it. So I feel even like worse.
Exactly. Yeah. Do not regret.
Okay.
So I've been through really big phases of emotional eating. I remember when I was living in London, I would open my cupboard and for 2 hours, I was just eating. From savory to sweet, to sweet to savory, to savory to sweet. And I wouldn't, it's like I had a black hole in my stomach. And then I would feel really bad. And then I would regret. And I would judge myself. And I would go back into what I did until I understood the feelings. What was I feeling? I was not in touch with my feelings at that point, you know? I wasn't asking myself these questions with curiosity and observing. Instead of coming with judgment, come with love. Always come to yourself with a lot of love. And then you can make better decisions for yourself once you do that, instead of punishing yourself. Because then you rebel against yourself if you're judging, you know? Fuck it, I don't care. Even I started with one piece, let me have the whole cake, you know?
Yeah.
And once you treat yourself with curiosity, then you question it without judging. Just question that action. Do I want that right now? Do I not? Okay, yes, maybe a little, maybe not. And then learn from these moments. If I do go through a moment of binging, okay, I did that because I was feeling this way. It's okay. Next time, I'll do better.
Yeah.
I'll do my best. And my best looks different every day.
But I love that curiosity. I feel like it's such a good state to, specifically in the relationship with yourself, of course, with others also, but with yourself.
It starts with you.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, when you're feeling something, not judging yourself, why, or being scared, why do I feel that, why am I doing that, just curiosity. Okay, I'm doing that, let me see what's going on. Maybe I can learn from it.
Exactly. And understand. Be your friend.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times I tell my clients, would you talk like that to your friend? Even to myself, I find myself judging myself, talking myself negatively, but I realize the impact it has on me. And I try to change my narrative within myself. And ask yourself, would you talk like that to your friend, the way you're talking to yourself? And that shows you a good perspective. And that curiosity comes with a bit of detachment, as if you're seeing yourself from another point of view. And you're like, okay, Soraya, why did you do that? That's okay, that's fine. Better luck next time, or try again. Oh, I understand. I acted like this because of that. It's okay. You want to do better, you'll do better next time.
That's a good advice. Also, like if you tell that to your friend, or if your friend tells you that they did this or they felt like this, what would you tell them?
Yeah.
And it's a good way, like you said, to detach yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And to understand that we need to treat ourselves the way that we'll treat people outside of us. We're the nicest with our friends.
Yeah.
We're so loving and we're always there for them and here to listen. And that's amazing. But who's going to do that for you if you don't? You can't expect others to do that for you.
Yeah.
You need to do it for yourself.
So we mentioned how approaching health is also approaching your life in general. So observing your life and seeing where your behaviors come from, what is causing you maybe unsatisfaction, and you have to target first. Then, so what are the, let's say, pillars of good health, so we can simplify it and...
Okay. To simplify it. Movement.
Yeah. And you said something also important, finding a movement that you enjoy.
Yes.
I feel like this is important.
That's very important.
Okay.
So movement, moving your body is, first of all, you're physically strong, but also mentally clear.
Yeah.
I like to say that. movement is very important, and it can come in so many different shapes or form. It's not about going to the gym and lifting weights and feeling like you've broken yourself to feel like you're moving, right? It can literally be a walk for 25 minutes or 20 minutes. Stretching. It depends, you know. And I remember going to the gym when I was younger, going to a PT. I was dreading it. My legs, I would always go and didn't want to go, but then I would feel great.
Yeah.
But going there never felt good until I found Pilates.
Yeah.
And Pilates changed my relationship to movement. It's something that I was running to, you know, and I didn't want the class to be over.
Yeah.
And when I found that, I was like, wow, okay, this is something that I can do willingly.
Yeah.
And you have endless amounts of movement, right? Swimming, for example, is something that I personally really, really enjoy. And actually, last week, I was really not feeling good. I was crying uncontrollably. I was not okay. I couldn't pinpoint what I had. And I you know, you have so many questions. You don't know what's happening. I was like, you know what? Let me put my swimsuit on. It was the day I had to wash my hair. That's a girl's thing. So I was like, let me go put my swimsuit on and just go to the pool. I was putting my goggles. Literally, they were filling with tears. Like I was crying.
Yeah.
I was not okay. And then I go and I start swimming. 1 lap, 2 lap, 3 lap. I forgot where I was crying. I did 30 minutes of that. I came out of the pool and I felt way better. And it showed me how much movement just gets you out of your head.
Yeah.
It moves the energy in you. Because sometimes we have emotions and we hang on to them, but emotions, they come, they go, thoughts, they come, they go. It's about not hanging on to them, doing something to move that energy around.
Yeah, like it unstucks you a bit.
Exactly.
Great. So movement.
Yes.
Then
food,
of course.
Food is a big part of it.
Yeah, and a big topic also.
It's a big topic. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it quickly.
Okay, quickly.
So on my page, I share recipes, and I share healthy, easy recipes because I want to inspire you to cook, right? And to show you that healthy can be yummy. We've been into this diet culture all over life that, I'm doing a diet, I'm not going to enjoy what I'm eating. I know I'm not going to be able to eat this or eat that. And we're feeling restrictive when we do a diet, versus then having a mentality of, I'm going to nourish myself with all of the whole foods that nature created. And I'm going to have a diversity in my plate because I know that each color will bring me different benefits. Yeah. And, you know, it's finding this pleasure of nourishing yourself without feeling like you're on a diet. It's your lifestyle. And it's the decision that you will see that once you eat well, your mental will follow with it a lot of times. Yeah. It's correlated. And so if I want to give you like a general things to stick to, focus on whole foods.
Yeah, not processed.
Try to avoid processed food as much as possible. In Lebanon, we're very lucky because we have cultural food that is really good. A lot of greens, a lot of vegetables, protein. Like we have a pretty complete diet as a Mediterranean country. So it's not that complicated, actually. It's just about looking what's in your food and making the right decisions.
Okay. So movement, food, okay, it's a big topic, but we just said now, so whole foods, avoid processed foods, don't just go on trends because there are trends, but actually listen to what's good for you.
And
Is there
patient.
Anything else? Be patient.
Be patient with trying things on yourself, you know? You're a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. So it's being patient and having this curiosity always to try things new and see what works, see what doesn't. And again, it can change over time. Yeah. So I don't want you to feel exhausted by that thought, but it's more of like, take it as an experiment, like a lifelong experiment.
Yeah. Okay.
So stress management is a big one. I think that we live in a very high-paced society where it's a go, go, go. We're always on fight or flight mode, and we forget to just rest. Chill. And I think it's not... I feel bad sometimes when I just want to rest. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? But we don't realize the amount of pressure that we have in doing. And so finding these moments to wind down, finding this time to release your stress. It can be through meditation, it can be through journaling, it can be through talking to a friend, it can be through different methods. It can be through taking 15 minutes before going to bed where you're not on your phone, you're putting your cream, you're washing your face, you're putting, I don't know, you're hydrating your body, you're reading a book. It can be through different modules that don't have to, I'm not telling you meditate, I'm not telling you journal, but I'm telling you there are different types of things to help you wind down, to help you connect with yourself, and to help you go into a rest and digest mode, not always being on your fight or flight. And that's a big part of health, because most diseases are due to stress. Stress causes inflammation, and inflammation is at the root of every disease. So stress management. I find journaling and meditation to be really helpful. I don't think it's everyone wants to do it, and I'm not saying that everyone should do it, but I think that journaling your thoughts is, I like to give an example of how journaling looks. So if your thought is a lot of different brouillon. Okay.
Like a draft.
Your thoughts are having so many thoughts and you don't know where to go and you're a bit confused and you're overwhelmed. You take a pen and it's like you're taking a little line out of your brain and you're writing, and it's detangling what's in your brain slowly. And so whatever you're able to let out, it's going to be helpful.
I love journaling as well. And I feel like, so when I started, I did not really have this habit. It wasn't natural for me at first. So I feel like also it's important that it doesn't have to be like beautiful what you're writing or make sense or whatever. Like at first I literally was writing, okay, I don't know what I want to write, but like I don't know what I feel actually, or just like, even if you're confused, right? Okay, I'm confused, I don't know how to do this. Like really random, and no one's going to read it, so
exactly.
Well,
we hope so. We always hope so. But yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. You don't have to make sense. Just write. Just express yourself. And when you're writing, you don't have another person in front of you that you're scared might be judging you. So it's just you and yourself, and just write whatever comes up. I've been doing that for 6 years now. I have like my piles of journals, and I love reading back at them because I see like, oh wow, that happened, and there's so much evolution when it comes to that. Oh no way, I was dealing with this, haha. I'm laughing about myself when I was like crying and being in all my emotions. So it's a really good way to check in with yourself.
And like you said, I feel like there are so many ways also to express yourself or to rest. Some people, for example, it can be like playing guitar or going out for a walk or just putting music and dancing in your living room.
Exactly.
So just...
You just gave so many good examples, you know?
It's watching a movie. So many...
It can be anything, whatever.
It doesn't have to be like meditating
What makes you feel good? What makes you feel free? And take this time to play. Take this time to release. Don't feel like you always have to do. And I'm talking to myself when I say that for anyone. And it's, just take this time to just be, right? And express and find yourself in that space, in that creative space, in that relaxing space, in that artistic space.
And even I feel if you're not able to do this, it's a good note, like, okay, I'm not being able to rest, or I'm always feeling like I have to do something. Just being aware is a good first step to starting to deal with it.
It's, 50% of the work is being aware. Second 50 is taking action.
So movement, food, stress management.
Have fun. You know? Have fun. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't feel like there are rules and regulations and one way to go about things. It's just have the good intention to take care of yourself while having fun doing it, right?
Yeah, because also I feel another association with being healthy is that it's boring.
Yes.
Yeah, like
100%.
Oh, you sleep at 8 and you wake up at 5. But
yeah, I mean it's detaching that, I'm cool because I'm sleeping at 2 a.m. every night. And no, like, you're not cool, babe. You're not. You're going to have skin issues. You're going to have mental issues. It goes into everything in your life. So taking care of yourself is cool.
Yeah.
Actually.
I agree.
I gotta say it. And
Yeah.
the people that believe it as well are gonna be the people you attract in your life. And it's nice to find yourself in a space with people that think the same way.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add that you feel is important to mention?
One thing I want to talk about, because we mentioned my course quickly, I created a course that's called the Holistic Cooking Course.
Okay.
And it's basically to help people integrate cooking into their busy life. Okay. I simplify the idea of cooking, and I've created 6 modules to teach you how to meal prep, to navigate the supermarket with knowledge and intention, and to properly store your foods. So this is kind of a pre-recorded course. You can do it at your own time. And it's here to help you integrate cooking into your life, because some people don't know where to start. They think they don't have the time. They think that they don't necessarily feel like they're able to do it. And I'm taking your hand, and I'm simplifying that process for you. And I think it's gonna be a course for anyone that wants to integrate cooking in their life. I
think I'm the perfect customer for that for that course.
Good. Next time I'm here,
everything you said, it's like, that's what I'm
good. So next time I hear you're making me a meal.
Jill. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Okay, great. I'll hold you up to that. I'm holding you accountable. Jill. All right.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed this conversation. I feel like a lot of useful, practical tips that anyone can use.
Yes, I hope so. And I had a great time talking to you. So
thank you.
Thank you for having me.